Whew, we did it. We did it. That is the only I hope that's the only double album that I have to listen to. And I didn't have to listen to that. I know I have issues with J. Cole. I know it. I know I do. I come into every J. Cole listening situation knowing that the man just does not often impress me. Like I know it. And so I know the sort of experience I'm going to have every time I press play on a J. Cole project. And I think part of this, listening to this, sort of solidified the reasons why. And it's tough, right? Because on paper, he's the kind of person I like. I don't know him personally, but on paper, he's the kind of person I like. He seems like a cool guy for the most part. He seems like a thoughtful guy. Rides around on a bicycle. And it's like, this reminds me, right? Like, he's been selling CDs out of the trunk, but he's been selling them for $1. He's been selling them for $1, which lets me know him selling CDs out of the trunk for $1 is proof positive to me. Well, I will be confidently speculating here that him selling CDs out of his trunk for $1 means he never sold CDs out of the trunk really in his life. It means he never sold CDs out of the trunk in his life. Because I think, from my vantage point, as somebody who's literally sold CDs out of the trunk, selling them for $1 is completely missing the point. That's completely missing the point. You're not doing it just to do it. You're doing it because that's where you get the most value. You're doing it because that's where you get the most value. Like, you could have taken that same box of CDs from the trunk to Amoeba Music or Rasputin or Tower Records or one of these places, and they would have given you like $7 per CD, and then they would have turned around and sold it for $15. You sell it out of the trunk because that's where you get the most value. Selling the CD for $1 misses the point. That's why CDs were great. It really only took you $1 to make one. And the markup was awesome. And nobody had a problem paying for that markup because the experience of this music and this pretty disc and this artwork and this booklet, it was worth it to people. The amount of art that you could put into this experience. So you don't sell it for $1. It's missing the point. Might as well give it away for free. You don't sell it for $1. But alas, I've gone off on a tangent. It is difficult to. It reminds me of something Fonte told me, coincidentally enough. And I always forget it, especially because I very often go on YouTube and say my feelings about rap things as a rapper. But Fonte told me a long time ago, you shouldn't really talk about what we do with people who don't do it. Because there's too much people don't understand. So I think I start from that place. Like, a critique of me from J. Cole is not a critique of him as a human being. And I think it's hard for some people to separate that are on the other side of this. He seems to me to be a pretty cool guy. Although, even that though, right? When I listen to some of the stuff he says, I even have questions about that. I think I feel like J. Cole is one of these, is a person who makes a lot of choices because he feels like he should in rap music. Like it sounds to me like pure speculation, mildly confident speculation. It sounds to me like J. Cole says the word bitch more in his songs than he does in his natural speech talking to his friends. That's what it sounds like to me when he says it. It doesn't sound like that's what he really thinks. It doesn't sound like that's how he really feels. It sounds like he's doing it because he thinks he should. And my entire career, and I've been doing this for a long time, is the complete rejection of doing anything just because other people do it. Like, and so that is the initial wall with me in connecting with him. is that I feel like we're getting a person through a filter of what he thinks a rapper should be. And the interesting thing about that is it ends up being magnified through his actual position as a very successful rapper. So that's the other reason that it's difficult to critique him, because there is a value in a person being as thoughtful as he is in the position that he's in. There's a lot of value there. Like, I just lost my mind at his version of I Used to Love Her. Lost my mind at it, because to me, there's no reason to rehash a 30-year-old concept for me. But in his position, there's going to be a whole bunch of 19-year-olds, right, who have never heard anything like that. And perhaps that sort of characterization of his relationship to hip hop will be a revelation for them. Unfortunately, that doesn't make it sound any better to me. I've been around too long. I've heard too many takes, too many riffs on the exact same metaphor. Like, it reminds me of, there was a time in hip hop when everybody used to have this bar about coming clean like J. Rue, because Come Clean was a big single he had, and you know, everybody wanted to talk about how nice they were on the mic, so they would say, I come clean like J. Rue. And it just got to the point where people would just start making fun of other people for saying that thing. But even that, that's 25 years ago now. I listen to my son's music. A lot of the dudes say, carrying 30, shooting like Curry. You hear it over and 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 over again. And it just gets to a point when you've been listening to rap a long time where certain shit is like, enough. You know, certain shit, it's just like, it's enough. Like, you just want to hear people do something different. You want to hear novelty. That's what I don't hear a lot of in J. Cole, is novelty. I don't hear a lot of novelty. I don't hear a lot of what I feel like is genuine emotion, because his delivery is very measured. It's not easy to do what he does. It's not easy to be that technical, that precise, to have cadences that are that chopped up and be nailing it like that. But sometimes the beauty in art is about going so hard where there are flaws. Like, sometimes that's the beauty. Sometimes if it's too technically sound, people don't have a way in. It doesn't resonate. And I think that's part of the issue I have too. Like, I want to hear J. Cole make a broken song over a broken beat where, tell him you're not allowed to use the same rhyme scheme for more than 3 bars. Matter of fact, you got to do all 3s. Like, just completely fuck up his sense of rhythm and see what he makes with under different parameters. That's what I would like to see. But I am merely who I am, and I have complicated feelings about things. And for some reason, I choose to talk about them on the internet a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why. But that was J. Cole's The Fall Off. Is it the last album? Maybe. I never believe it when anyone says that. Again, I've been listening to rap music a long time. I've heard 20 rappers say they were retiring. 20 of them came back. Never happens. They never go away for real. The only person who has really ever gone away, from what I can tell, is Joe Budden. But I think Joe Budden will come back one day. I think you'll get a Joe Budden verse one day. I don't think he'll be able to resist. I think somebody's going to come at him one day, and he'll hear the call, and he won't be able to ignore it. But that's all I got to say about that or anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Morning Show.